And it looks like we're going to be starting off with Mausoleum. The meta, though. Hey, you might be worried about the meta, but let me tell you about the hard counter. Whammer. You wham, you bam, you slam them, they're dead. That's all you gotta worry about. Do not fret, do not do the fearing, for Whammer is here to save the day. On the note of meta, online and offline, very different in just that regard, as the EU especially had a heavy amount of Manders going into the bracket today, and we're going to be starting off right away with another Mander stepping into the ring, Piper going in with the Slamamander and Triblast. Frozen going to be going in with the Glusher and Triblast on their own, trying to find a way in to start getting some pressure, some damage on Piper. So far, Piper just sticking to his 1-2 steady movements. And he's going to start off pretty strong. This is the problem. I'm just going to take this moment to point out this is one of the problems of having a very small player base. Is that the players who mostly stick around are all very dedicated. And when you have a 5-man bracket, that basically means players who might be a little more casual, players who aren't as experienced, might struggle to keep up a little bit more, just because the players that are still active are generally very competent and confident in their abilities and skills, and it can be really frustrating to play against them. Piper showcasing that pretty handedly here, and he's going to be able to parry through that rush. A nice 360. I'll also note, right now our brackets, as our brackets are set up, every single player except Frozen is in the top 8. And you'll be seeing more of that in a bit. Frozen starting to get some light damage, starting to get a little bit of tempo shift in their favor, but it's not going to be enough, as Piper going to be able to get one more Mander slam in and takes the first set, setting themselves up with advantage. Another good thing. No, I was talking about as a negative. Like, hopefully Frozen's enjoying this, because that is a lot of confidence. That is a very, like, you step into a ring, and it's like, alright, so your first opponent is going to be Malieve, or it's going to be Pied Piper, or it's going to be Jico, or it's going to be Astro, or it's going to be Gilly. Regardless of who your first opponent is, I should probably try to look at, like, if we could recruit, or if we could get the scene to be a little more active again, have a lot more of the more casual players step into some of these events and play around again, it'd probably be a little more welcoming and fun. But it's like one of those self-perpetuating cycles where it's like, we want new players so that we can have the scene grow and flourish more, but it's hard to get the scene to grow and flourish. When people are stepping in and it's like, I have a boot. And then they're like, well, I guess everybody has boots here, but I don't have boots. You're glad you can finally participate again? I'm glad you're able to join us and be a part of our fun gaming community. And it looks like we're going to be starting off with Via Dolce. Just a reminder, meta, oh, you mean the edgy characters in the Kirby series? Yes, like that. Just a reminder for anybody who is interested, we do have the standard 5 starter stages, plus the 2 counter stages, but we're going to have 3 bands during this event instead of the 2, because alongside all that, we have Ramen Bowl and Sky Arena as 2 playable stages for players to experiment and test out, as we are during a more break period, and there has been a show of interest of seeing some of these some more stages in the competitive bracket. I am going to be opening things up so you can try out a couple new stages. This will be rotating around. I do believe. Let's see, what were the stages? Sky Arena's pretty much just going to be there because it's the only aggressive stage in the list that people had any interest in. But we do, of course, still have Ribbon Ring, which I'm pretty sure while people voted for it, was pretty critically panned overall. So I'm probably going to be avoiding that one personally, which leaves us with another defensive stage that we'll be experimenting with, which is good old Name Redacted. So if you want to play a bracket with Name Redacted in it, drop by next week. And I'll probably be switching between Ramen Bolt and Name Redacted and seeing how the two go for people. And I'm not only am I going to be looking at like how people enjoy that stage, but particularly how people consider and respect that stage, those stages too. Like, one of the reasons why I'm not going to respect Ribbon Ring as a stage that's going to show up in the list is because when I've seen it in tournaments, it's pretty consistently always one of the 3 stages that are banned. Like, it is generally disliked. If I end up seeing, like this first one, we do have that counter pick where none of the counter stages were banned. Good effort, Frozen. You did great. But if I see, like, constantly nobody picking Sky Arena, nobody picking Ramen Bowl, nobody picking Name Redacted, that's gonna... Or they're, like, consistently banned or heavily banned, or people complain about the fact that they're there, which means they have to ban them, then those are going to be stages that I'm going to likely consider more negatively and make note of in that way. With that said and done, we do have Piper moving on to, against Frozen. Which means Frozen will be sitting back in the lower bracket. Which means we've got... We've got Totally Not Jico and Adam Brain playing up next. Wait, hang on. I just need to fix Jico's tag so that everything fits. Where is Jay? Is he offline? There he is. We're going to have to change that nickname. There we go. There we go. You're glad you're not against Jico? Definitely. Same. But it looks like, for some reason, Jico is in here. I would have guessed it would have not been Jico, but... I guess he lied. I guess this is a liar we've got in our midst. This is terrible news. I'm really upset. I can't stand liars. So we've got not Doug and not Chico. Yes. Let's remove that and just give him the good old joik. There we go. Alright, so we're going to be doing a bit of stage strike in between these two, see how things go. It's going to be exciting. We have not seen, definitely not, this a liar. Playing in a while, so we're definitely looking forward to watching some extra spicy Lollapop movement coming out from Chico. Adam Brain, always a delight to watch. Actually, Chico, I'm not sure if you're listening to chat here, but Stylo recently came across a new tech for Lollapop. And out of a lot of the Lolas that I know of, I can definitely see you being one of the ones more interested in it. If you are, I'll just like hit that. I made a highlight on Twitch. I'll just drop it in chat. Just got it like up and loaded and ready. Fan Temple, and we play Buster. So we're all set. Good to go. And maybe we'll see some cool, exciting Lollapop against the cool and exciting Twintel. Don't forget, if you see a hype moment, make clips. Please. Alright, starting things off, we're going to see the third Tri-Blast this bracket. Every single person except for Adam Brain, who is a revolutionary of our time, not utilizing that Tri-Blast. Everybody else, it is a mandatory weapon. It is a essential tool. Has continued to be relatively high tier, if not S tier. Just across the entire scene of ARMS. It has had light adjustments from time to time, but overall, Tri-Blast is such a consistent and solid tool. Having those multi-bullets and then on charge, just being a very large and wide explosive blast, can cause some extremely powerful pressure, some very strong damage, and has been known to give a lot of people a very hard time. Starting things off, Jigo holding a light lead, safely and consistently peppering in the pressure against Adam, giving them a very hard time, making it really difficult for them to find these moments of damage. But a rush is ready, and it's going to be able to connect, leading in for Adam Brain to start off with a KO and point lead. Hopefully the fan on my laptop isn't too loud. I don't think it's picking up, but the poor laptop is feeling a little stressed out right now, so I've turned up the fan for it to make sure that it stays nice and cool and not stressed, and does not crash on us in the middle of one of these brackets. Jigo getting a solid disarm, utilizing that Tri-Blast Bolt, is going to be able to get a strong confirm, a heavy rush, and now has a moderate health lead. Adam Brain does have a rush coming into this next round, though, and might likely want to just take the L here so that Jigo does not have a rush built up. But instead, Adam going to try to turn the tempo instantly, and as a result, loses the rush. And now Jigo, rush advantage, and the score brought to 1-1. There's a couple other things that Stylo talks about in there, so I ended up extending it, which is why it's 23 minutes. But I believe the buffered normal jump out of shield is one of the first things that come up in there. And then there's a bit of talk about general movement on her. Ooh, the Tri-Blast not going to be able to fully connect. Jiko only getting chip damage and setting Adam up with a ready rush. Trying to close in that distance, but it's going to lead Adam to get a hefty disarm. Take some light damage, but now finding some tempo, throws out that quick grab and a quick Lyrius rush. But it's not going to be able to connect. Jiko hanging into that back corner. Going to be able to safely shield it out. Jiko still holding onto a light health lead. Does have that rush ready as well. Actually, that's a shield breaker. I think Jiko's going to go for it here. Yeah, he sees the moment. Just diving in, looking for that confirm, and is going to be able to secure himself a nice and hearty first point. I mean, you two could still do friendlies together if you want. Or if Frozen wanted to play against either of you. Or if anybody wanted to play against Frozen, that could be cool. I just offered to play, but... Just a reminder, no fun allowed. ARMS is not a fun game, and the community is not fun. We are all gatekeepers. We keep our gates, and we eat them. Chico picks out his bands. Adam, pick Ramen Bowl. Let's start exploring. Let's experiment. Let's test some new stages out. Let's feel them out. Let's see how they go. I know you were interested. You were interested in that one. Sky Arena is also available. And we are going to be going to Ramen Bowl. Seems like a stage that Adam Brain specifically is very intrigued in. Let's start testing out some of these counter picks. Winning is good. It means you can get further in the placements, and it's very good. But also, what better of a time to try out some of these more unique and diverse stages that we do not see too often. Ramen Bowl is a massive bowl. It's a giant circle. You do not... This is probably like the first time a lot of people have seen this stage in what I think would probably be months or maybe even years in certain cases. As a lot of players, once they get too warmed up with a stage or with a competitive bracket and stage list, basically makes it so that they just kind of forget the other stages are there, aside from being a menu option that you get to skip. So I'm just going to take a wild guess and say this probably is Jiko's first time here in a very long time. A quick rush that's going to be able to connect. 320 damage. One of the interesting things about this stage is you're actually, if you're aggressing from the center platform, while you do have more neutral space, you're also expending height advantage, which means that you're generally in a, you do have that space, but beyond that, like, you have a much harder time trying to counter, trying to punish your opponent. This stage is on the ranked stage list, that is correct. But I know a lot of people generally don't even play on ranked. Or haven't in a very long time. Just a reminder, as we are trying out these new stages, I am while I am going to be making personal notes, feedback is also welcome. Anybody is welcome to share their own thoughts and opinions about how they feel about these stages, how they kind of work, and whether or not they think it's something that should be considered coming into the future events. I'm already seeing some interesting things going on, making some light notes. One of which, when you dash forward from that top end, you actually can pretty safely dip underneath a lot of attacks, which means that you kind of get to have Dr. Coyle's verticality game without being Dr. Coyle. This is actually, I feel like this, I was talking about this before, and I've always had the light feelings and thoughts. I feel like out of the defensive stages, this is probably the one that's most likely to actually fit in competitively. And especially when you consider, like, it might allow you to have a lot more counterplay towards Dr. Coyle. Could be interesting. Rush is not going to be able to connect beyond chip damage, but Jiko is only looking for 2 more hits or a grab. Adam really struggling to land rushes in this open field, as Jiko just constantly has free movement, open range to go as he pleases. And as the timer ticks down, Adam trying to close in that distance, but now Jiko just has that much more space to work with, and he's going to be able to dip right out of the way and takes the second set. And with that, we are going to be moving on to Pied Piper facing off against Gilly Boats. Mr. Wah. Keep her tempo going. Keep the movement. No sense in pausing. Piper, why did you leave? Wait, no, that was other people who left. Good. Wait. Update. And we can remove back. All right. Yeah, we'll be heading over. Pied Piper will be facing off against one of the Titans, one of the scary players out there. Gilly Boat has been making quite the name for himself. Able to stand toe-to-toe with some of the top players out there with some very exceptional plays. Let's see. C6. We'll get that set up, and we are going to be going to Mausoleum. And we're set. Just gonna do that. And we're off. Gillyboat going in with the classic Popper Homie loadout. Piper going in with his tried and true, the Slamamander and Tri-Blast. starting things off. Gilly is holding some pressure, keeping that long range, getting some nice snipes and pokes. Is going to go straight in for the rush confirm, knocking Piper into critical with 460 damage. Homie, such a scary arm, does so much damage on that blast. Definitely complemented by the popper, and it just makes confirms really easy and really scary. Because you just take so much damage, and all it takes is a charged popper hit. Especially on a stage like Mausoleum, where there's pretty much always a wall backing you up. You're always backed up against a wall in some manner. A charged wind hit is almost always going to lead into you spiraling into that wall and potentially getting knocked out by a confirm. Especially if it's a popper where it's just straight. Piper gonna be switching it up, going in with the roasty toasties, looking to bop Gilly down. So far though, he's gonna not have that opportunity presented for him. In fact, quite the opposite, as he loses 600 health off of a single charged popper confirm. Piper already in critical and cannot take too many more hits, only about 2 more. Piper trying to find his way in, getting poked in one more time, is at his final legs. Gilly almost set to get that perfect, and he's gonna be able to walk away with it. Popper Homie is like stupid good. And it complements just how evasive Lollipop can be. So it just works. Gillyboat just sniping Piper down, just walling him out completely, keeping that nice, safe distance. The Twin Stars help guide the pufferfish to victory. Yes. And just a reminder, we do have a few extra stages coming in here. We might see one of these additional new counter picks step into the ring. 4-player 3-whammer coil and headlock vest to have max whammers in GAM. Yes. Gilly's loadout is generally pretty difficult to play against, especially if you're a... It's actually designed pretty well to catch Ninjara on his movements. I think if I were a Piper... I would go with something... I feel like the Parasol or the Parabola would actually be alright options. Buff or Bub to get that higher girth size. Dragons might actually work if you're playing a long-range game, but that requires you to know how to utilize that. Chakram is a very effective tool if you're pushing your opponent back against a wall. Got lots of good options. Hello there, Alex. Thanks for dropping by again to watch some fantastic arms. And it looks like we are going to be going straight back to Ramen Bowl. Piper wanting to test it out himself. So we're getting some nice labbing going with Lollipop and how Ramen Bowl works with her. It's going. It's a day. How is Alex? I just want to apologize and also give you a heads up too. Sorry I didn't reply to you during the EU one. Generally, there's a lot less like interaction with chat while I'm running these events. I'm usually more focused, especially if I've got a co-commentator, I'm a lot more focused on the matches. This stage is so big, like you can see the head of you can see the head of Ninjara and the feet of Lollipop. Yeah, generally when I'm running these kinds of events, I don't do too much talking to chat or with chat. I'm more focused on my own stuff. I'll post links here and there, but generally it's me doing my own shtick as a tournament organizer and commentator. Piper gonna try Ramen Bowl, give it a try, but so far it's working out pretty against his favor as it's Mausoleum, but with even more space for Gillyboat, who's going to be able to get a very nifty KO and sets up with another point advantage. Yeah, this is a really good stage for playing defensively, keeping your distance. If you're trying to get in, if you're trying to get into your opponent, this is very difficult to do here, as you have so much work chasing your opponent down. It's even harder to back your opponent into a corner because of that bull shape. Your opponent just gets so much height advantage when they're backed against a wall. It is probably one of the more defensive stages that you could find out there, especially anything that people might be willing to tolerate. Day's going good? That's good. Piper currently at the bottom of the bowl, trying to find a couple of pokes, some light damage. So far, Gilly just has so much space, so much room to work with, and he's just going to be able to continue to assert this lead, this dominance. Piper struggling to find his way in, get some damage of his own, and is nearing a KO. Oh, that's going to be a nice opportunity to reach in, land a nice grab. Has Gilly just a bit below 50%, and a very solid rush, 300 damage. That's going to balance out this health difference. Now Piper just looking for 2 more hits or a grab to be able to get the KO. That rush is going to be enough though. Piper too busy boxing into the homie as his nearms right into his face. And that explosion is going to lead Gilly into a clean 2-0. Everybody's trying Ramen Bowl, which is weird. I mean, it's cool because that's what I was asking, but also it's weird because that's not the one people were actually, like, looking for. Most people were looking for Sky Arena, but nobody's picked Sky Arena. In fact, it's been banned once, and Ramen Bowl has been picked thrice. But on the plus side, it kind of already shows what I've already known about Ramen Bowl. It's big, it's very defensive. If you're playing defensively, you're going to have a much easier time, since you tend to back yourself into the trench. Yeah, well, that's why Ramen Bowl is such a good stage for you, because there's so much space for you to work with. You're pretty much always out in the open to some way. That's about as open world of an environment as you can get in ARMS. Ramen Bowl is the open world Ramen Bowl is the size of 3 Breath of the Wild. It's a very big map. Count them 1, 2, 3 Breath of the Wild maps. That's how it's a big bowl. You can fit a lot of Breath of the Wild in there. Ramen Bowl has 100 hours of content. Snake Park is Skyrim. Yeah, 500 side quests. Confirmed. Alright, let's see. Hopefully people have been updating their scores. 1,000 collectibles. Yeah. They have. Good. So, Ramen Bowl. I'm kind of curious how this would work for these two players, because it's like both of them would want to play very defensively in Ramen Bowl, and they both would be able to do that. This would be the best stage for either of them to just at a long distance poke and jab each other. I think we're going to be going to Mausoleum. We are going straight back into the Mausoleum. We have we had any corners? We've had one. Adam Brain was the first to utilize corners in this tournament, and beyond that point, it's been nothing but circles. Circles all the way down. Mazos, Ramen Bowls, no corners found here. I love that emote so much. Alright, so let's see. Jiko's got a pretty interesting loadout. I actually really like it for this matchup. It very much is a Jiko classic. These are arms that he's used numerous times before, has a decent amount of experience with. I can also see them being pretty solid counters to Ghillie Boat. He's just got to be able to line up those shots, utilize that bird chuck to effectively wall out Ghillie's attacks. And if he can do that, I can definitely see this turning in his favor. But he's got to make sure these attacks line up. Ghillie Boat just wanting to stay a difficult target. Jiko starting to close in the distance, gets his first hit in. But after getting knocked down, has to start closing that distance yet again. Finally finds a chance though with the toaster connecting and sees a moment for rush and chooses to go straight for it. 300 damage. Now he's got to be cautious of Ghillie Boat throwing out his rush though, as that's going to be a heavy 475 damage. And Jiko once again in disadvantage, needs to find a way to turn the tides in his favor, get some more damage in to get that KO, he's only got enough health, he doesn't have any health to take any damage. That said, he only needs a charged toaster, maybe a little bit more on top of that. He's got a rush coming up, but that popper is going to slip in, snipe him by the thigh, and give Ghillie the first point. Diving into the next round, we are going to see a Hydra stepping in. And a nice rush punish, stopping that grab, 265 damage. Has to be careful of this rush. But Jiko is starting off with a bit of a lead here. That rush would only balance out the health pool. Jiko just patiently waiting out there. Is not going to be subject to that heavy damage. You're happy because you have 1 week off from school because of Thanksgiving break. Nice! You should be getting a holiday break coming up pretty soon too. If there's going to be more arms, more Scrapstar coming up during the holiday season. So if you want to play during that time, there will be events. We look forward to seeing you drop by. Jiko holding a lot of good tempo here. Isn't susceptible to a KO yet, but if he does get hit by a popper confirmed, that pretty much is going to put him at similar health to Ghillie Boat. That's probably confirmed range now if Ghillie can just find one more hit with that charged popper. But he's only one hit away from a KO, and with only 7 seconds left on the clock, I don't think it's going to happen. Jiko recognizing that, just waiting out and shield, maybe trying to bait out a rush, but Ghillie is not going to utilize it. And of course, even if you can't make it to these events, Casual Arms has their own events going on, and you can also just call out for friendlies. We're all open. We're all looking, or not all of us, but a lot of people are. And I'll of course be doing a couple of odd things too during the week. Gilly starting off this round with a little bit more advantage. Has that light damage. Has that rush ready. So does Jiko though, who's going to be the first to throw his out. 45 damage. Not going to be able to get a shield break off of that. And going to safely survive what would have been catastrophic. Definitely dodges between the homie and the popper. Surviving what would have been half of his health otherwise. Jiko keeping up this tempo, holding onto this lead. Both players playing very defensively here. Actually, yeah, both have very similar playstyles. Just primarily loadout and slight fine-tunement to how they approach, how they interact with the general environment and match, and how willing one is willing to go aggro compared to the other. That's going to... I think if Jiko threw out one more Hydra Bolt, he would have had the KO. He's going to survive that. That could have been so much worse. That could have been all of his health. But because he just suffered from the blast, Jiko is going to start off with a 1-point lead. Why does Min Min's hair look like grated cheese? It's because it's ramen noodles. Those are noodles. You know, like pasta noodles. Like Ribbon Girl's hair turned into literal ribbons. Spring Man's turned into toothpaste. Miss Zango's is like braids. Lollipop's is literally candy. Every character has their own flavor of hair. We're going to be heading to Spartan Ring. Gilly likely looking to try to... This will probably be a little bit easier for him to get win confirms. That also said, that means that it's easier for Jiko to be the oppressor here, as he doesn't have to worry about that center platform breaking open. Actually, I feel like this is a better stage for Jiko in this matchup. And so far, starting off with these exchanges, it looks like it is definitely working out in Jiko's favor. Gillybo getting pushed back against the wall, has to worry about those corners now, has a lot less free movement. And this rush is just going to chip away, eating through 305 of Gilly's health, setting Jiko up to look for just about 2 more hits to get the KO. Gilly trying to go in for the jump grab, but Jiko going to be able to safely poke it down with the Hydra Blast and is holding on to a monumental health lead here. Jiko finally bringing Jiko down to 75% health, only to have his last bit of health taken away as Jiko gets the first point. Jiko starting off this round, has the advantage, gets that freeze. He's going to choose to expend the rush here. That was a very weird movement for the Burchuck, but it's not going to work out too well for him. Gillybolt landing that rush, now has health lead. and is starting to get some serious tempo in their favor. Jiko keeping up this light tempo, trying to go in for these good old 1-2s, but so far it's not working out as well. Gilly now a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable, just trying to play out this match, dancing back and forth. Has the health lead, so doesn't feel the need to invest nearly as much. 45 seconds left on the clock. Jiko falling to his last legs, can only take an uncharged popper. Anything else will be the KO. And it's going to be a score for Gilly, bringing the match to 1-1. Jiko starting off with a high pineapple grab. It's not going to be able to connect, but definitely a pretty solid setup. Rush coming out, 300 damage, sets Jiko up with a light lead, but now Gilly does have a rush ready. You can see he's trying to set something up, but only to get sniped down by another Hydra shot. Jiko just not falling for those pressure jumps. Another rush comes out, and it's going to be able to connect. The homie, though, missing out, waiting right in behind Jiko, and way too far away to be able to catch him. And because of that, Jiko now has a very recognizable health lead and is only looking for... Actually, I think a shield break is possible here. No, it's not going to be. But that's going to just set Gilly up. Literally any hit, even the straight charged homie, would be enough to take him down. Jiko doesn't need that, though. One more Hydra bullet. Or no, that's going to be the bird chuck slipping in and sets Jiko advantaged 2-0. Gilly was able to make it work out pretty well for them, but once Jiko had tempo, it was just Jikos. I'm likely expecting Gilly probably wants to find somewhere a little more defensive. And I think we're going to be going to Scrapyard next. Definitely can see this working out a little bit better for them. Give themselves a little bit more space, a little bit more room to breathe and worm their way around. And you can tell Jiko is also very aware of that as he banned DNA Lab, Temple Grounds, and Mausoleum. Some very solid defensive stages for Gilly. And had a little trust that Gilly might not take him to Ramen Bowl this time around. I feel like if Gilly was willing to make the effort, Ramen Bowl probably would work out really well for them. That also said, having two pillars to safely protect you also is a very nice thing. And Gilly's going to be able to utilize that to safely sneak out of the way from that freeze chain. And keeps himself with a light health lead and a ready rush. Tries to go for the grab. Going to get some light blast damage. Not going to be straight up punished for that. And in fact, ever so slightly rewarded. Another solid rush, 355 damage. That's only going to balance out the health pool. Gilly does have a rush ready. And is going to throw it out. But Jiko able to parry down the popper. And with that opening safely brings out the shield. Both players still, again, very even. But the Hydra is going to save Jiko's life there, preventing him from taking any substantial damage. Gilly able to find a way, though, to knock him into critical, and has that rush ready with 8 seconds left on the clock. Gilly's going to feel forced to throw out the rush, determined to take this round, and sets himself up with a 1-point advantage. Hoi Frozen! Diving into this next round, Jiko has a pretty sizable advantage. starting off with the first hits, and also doesn't have to worry about those pillars anymore obstructing any of their movement. There's also a very friendly and complimentary Rush just waiting in the wings, ready for Chico to pull out at a moment's notice. Birdshot going to come in a little too slow, does get the shield break, some light damage off of that. Gilly constantly going for those high grabs, trying to open up a nice confirm, but is relatively consistently getting sniped down for it. That's going to be a very safe shield for Chico, capitalizing on Lola's aerial shield, just eating a couple of light hits, but nothing substantial enough to be able to lead into the KO. Chico now ready with a rush. Health is even though, so it's only going to be able to give Chico a light lead. Maybe not as serious of an advantage as he'd like, but a health lead off of Rush is definitely something worth going for, especially now that Gillyboat once again has a Rush ready. And currently holding on to 250 health lead, chooses to use it just to go for the confirm. And that's going to be 1-2 now with the score. You like Misanga, want to get better with him? It's good to have a backup and good character if you want to go for it. But also, if you're having a lot of fun with a character and you want to develop him, power to you. Stick with it. That's honestly the most important thing to do, especially with how the game is these days. You want to just play how you have fun. You want to enjoy it as you can enjoy it. Like, I could play other characters. I could be like, Koyo's a better character than Mechanica, I'll switch over. I'm not going to have as much fun. I like playing as Mechanica. I like to be a girl in a mech suit who runs right face first into you, and it's like you literally have nothing you can do, so I'm just going to punch you. And we're going to be heading over to Sky Arena next for this following bout. Chico now making the calls, able to pick. This is a pretty solid. I can see this being a good stage for Lollipop. She is able to work her way out of the trench with a lot of her vertical movement. But you can also times find yourself getting locked into that ditch sometimes. And when you're locked into there, it can just be really difficult to fight out of the way. Also, Tamashi, this is for you. Starting things off, Chico holding the light lead, utilizing the stage's design in implementation just a little bit better than Gilly right now, and is finding some very solid and rewarding pokes, some light damage here and there, and has Gilly already just above 50%, while Gilly has yet to land a single hit. Sky Arena's pit is one of the most infamous and difficult things to be in, as you have so much less movement, so many less options. But it also means that because of that ditch, this is also a relatively big stage. So if your opponent is forced to chase you down, you can kind of just sit back in the ditch, kind of force them to chase you as you constantly are pushing them back. You just have so much neutral space, a lot more ground. Rush gonna come out, but Chico gonna be able to safely block it. Not going to take much damage from that. Definitely not even close to a shield breaker there. You can definitely still move left and right. And in certain cases, that's all you really need. Against arms with curve, this is a really bad stage to be in the trench in. But against something like Gillyboat's loadout, where it's Popper and Homie, or Siki, he's only kind of going straight forward at you anyway, so trench is not necessarily too scary, as long as you're just aware of how and where you can move and keep your options open. That's going to be a nice confirm. Gilly suspending himself in the air confirms a very easy opening for Chico to throw out the rush. And with that, Chico moving in with a clean and confident 3-1 against Gillyboat. And we'll be moving into the grand finals on advantage side. And Gilly getting a quick note there. Yeah, Skyrena definitely does not work well in his playstyle. How's the bracket looking? It's not looking as good because you're not here. But beyond that, we have some very exciting and powerful top players currently in the midst. Jico just took Gillyboat down 3-1 and will be moving on to grand finals. We currently have Adam Brain and Pipe Paper facing off in the lower semifinals. Just got home from accounting group project. Hopefully the project went well. We even had Frozen Fur. Oh, Frozen, you're in chat, right? Wait, dang it, I forgot Link doesn't have this game. No, we have a $1.3 million. That's... I don't think that's real. Please don't tell me that's, like, legit. I was gonna tell you to play games with Link C, but Link C doesn't have arms. You're not net positive in cash? Yeah, that sounds pretty rough. That's really rough. Hopefully you can find a way to discover the loophole or thing that means that you're not $1.3 million in debt. Oh god, that sounds nightmarish. I mean, somebody else just got knocked out of the bracket. You can play against Adam Brain a little bit if you want. And we're going to be moving on. Gillyboat will be moving on to face off against Pied Piper. And what will definitely be... What is a rematch? Atomic Brain plays. Unfortunately, the Atomic Brain was not big enough to be able to take down Mr. Pied Piper, who will be moving on to face off against Gillyboat in the lower finals. No brain is big enough to face off against the Piper. Ooh, there's something I need to look at. Failed their wisdom save and went into the forest. Yes. It was very unfortunate. I've got a nice graphic. Let's see. And that. And yeah, we're going to be going back to Mausoleum. Let's see. Oh, Gillyboat is going in with Springtron. Let's go. Let's see how that works out. I didn't bother with those, which is fine. might have a fancy graphic to share with all of you. We'll see if everything's like fully confirmed and good in just a bit. Yeah, it looks like Gillyboat trying to work with the Springtron, trying to warm up with this character in hopes that he might be able to use it against Jico. And so far, it's giving Piper a lot more advantage, a lot more opportunity to fight back, as it's just a little more steady, a little more front line. It's a lot more difficult for Gilly to dodge around these attacks. Silence. I'm trying to keep track of many things at once here. Sometimes I'm also tired. I'm very tired. I've been nothing but tired for like the past forever. It really doesn't help when... It really does not help when I'm also the only one commentating. Gilly gonna be able to get the KO, switching the homie over for the toaster, looking for a little bit more steady pressure here. It's gonna allow him to safely box through that popper rush if Piper throws it out and that toaster is nice and ready. First damage on that center platform. We have actually yet to see that trampoline come out. Gilly gonna be able to get into EMP state, landing that charged popper hit. Has a lot more tempo and ground to work with here, but a quick popper to the face as he dashes right in up close to Piper's face. Gonna allow Piper to get some more damage and balance this out. Nice rush confirmed. Going to be able to land 275 damage. Gets the EMP chance. And able to disarm Piper, who throws out that grab a little too fast. Both players now looking for a single hit. And it's going to be that charge popper from Gilly coming in and setting them up with a 1-point advantage. Wait, no, that brings the score to 1-1. No, yeah, that's 1-point advantage. See what's going on there. Gilly just wanted to de-rust the Tron a bit. Alright. This is just going through bans right now. They're just confirming what's going on with setups and everything. Yeah, it looks like we're going to go back to Sky Arena. Yeah, Sky Arena. We currently have Sky Arena and Ramen Bowl open up during the Scrapstar Series right now, as we're experimenting, looking at some different things trying out some different stages and seeing how people generally feel towards them. And so we'll be stepping right back into the ring. Gillyboat going back to Lollipop, and is going to choose to stick with it here. Piper does have a nice dragon set up alongside that Popper and Slamamander. Some very good long distance play prepared. Exactly. That's kind of one of the reasons why I'm like, ooh, I should. After some debate and discussion going on with the community, I was like, oh, it'd probably be cool to try these stages out, because this late in, there's a lot of the newer players that haven't played these stages, or they haven't played them seriously, at least. Just because you do not see them very often, if at all, unless you're in ranked, and ranked it doesn't really happen anymore. So the only alternative really is casual arms, and that depends more on whether or not you're interested in playing in that kind of style and format. So yeah, if you are able to drop by and play, it's either gonna be like this, or it's gonna be something one of the other changes. Oh, what's going on? Cage, what are you doing? You confuzzled the muzzle. Piper starting off pretty well against Gillyboat here. Health even. Both players ready with Rush. Just looking for an opportunity for solid confirm. This is a much harder stage for Gillyboat to be able to get those popper confirms, as he's got to get one out of the gutter and then follow up with one here. But Gilly's going to be able to find that and is going to be able to set a match advantage 2-0. You did start another one. Fair enough. Hopefully it goes well. To think trying weird things mid-turning might be a bad idea. Try weird thing. Yes, weird things are fun. They are healthy. They are good. If you are not trying weird thing, you are missing out on life. Oh, Link. I got poinsettias. There's pretty poinsettias in my place. They probably won't last until you come over, but I'll do my best to make them live. I'm really excited. I've not had plants in my place. Remember when Ice Dragon was a weird thing? Oh, I remember back when dragons were just seen like as the most unconventional arm. Everybody was like, why would you play with this thing? It's so weird. Play football instead. Oh god, Piper, what the... Why did you take my advice? I have no words for you. Oh, this is what we're watching. Piper going in triple guardian. Gonna try to wall Gilly out somehow with this. He does have a couple of advantage is going in with this, as he does basically have free reign to be able to pressure Gilly Gilly's gonna really struggle to be able to find his way around. Piper also has an exceptionally fast grab, should he choose to throw it out, which also is going to do 10 additional damage because of the armor that these two Guardians provide, them, with them being both heavy arms. Starting things off, Piper is going to be able to get a light health lead, landing a grab and not just a little tap beyond. This is Gilly posting memes in chat while this is happening. Gilly gonna be able to get it confirmed, does get the KO in the end, and amidst all of Piper's efforts, the Guardian is not gonna work. But he's going to have to give it another try, as currently doesn't have any other options. Okay, I see the difference. I think I'll go with the second one. The rush is going to come out, but the homie rush just significantly faster, and it's going to be able to outpace Piper, allowing Gilly to just continue to dominate and set up a monumental health lead. Piper lands another grab, but that's only so much work. That's only so much damage, and there's so much work to go, and he's not gonna have the chance as he jumps right into Gilly's homie rush, blowing him to smithereens and closing this bout out in a clean 3-0. So I'm thinking we're going to be making a quick little announcement here. As many of you are aware. No, well, Gilly needs to keep us going, so we're just going to keep going. We've got an announcement, but it's going to have to be after the Grand Finals match. So if you're interested in finding out some cool news live on stream, through my voice rather than a picture later on Twitter, then stick around. Otherwise, do get some sleep. Mental health is important. Is very good. We are going to have to wait. Gilly doesn't really have much time to work with, as he does have school tomorrow morning. And it's Eastern time for him right now, so it's 10:20 p.m. So we can't really keep him up that long. So we're going to just jump right into the swing of things. No tests. But Slep is good. Oh, he did say now. Right. Alright, so we'll do it now. We're going to do it right now. I have a special picture for y'all to see. Let's just... peoples and friends, loves and mortals, I present to you... where'd it go? There it is. The top 8 for the ARMS NA Online Season 2. As many of you are aware, that we do have seasons that do happen. Season 1 happened quite some time ago, and we just recently closed up on Season 2. And these are the final results for our second season. Astro Ninja of Team Illusion taking first place. Mr. Pied Piper taking second place. Jico third. Bunny Champ fourth. J-Ro fifth. Adam Brain sixth. Gillyboat seventh. And myself, also representing Team Illusion, 8th. I'd also note Bunny Champ and Gillyboat are both representing Team Polaris, a small group and crew created by Gillyboat and Spenjo. And I'm also going to let you all know, I like how Lola is just her feet. Yes, your Lola is just the feet. And I'm also going to make the announcement here too that there is going to be an invitational specifically for these 8 players that will be hosted by Cold Stare. The date is being determined right now, but it will be an 8-player bracket. There will be prize money. And whoever wins this, Illusion sandwiching top 8. Yes. A delicious sandwich. Yeah, there will be an invitational. All 8 players have been invited to a specific undisclosed area, and we will be communicating, planning things out. You'll likely find out more details in the coming days, coming weeks, coming month. You're up the corpse of TCM. Sounds good. I'll rep Illusion, Flourish, Masked, Breakthrough Eastwarts, and Arms of the North. I've been with a lot of teams. FMET. Anyways, I'm just gonna get rid of this image now. We do have the rest of the bracket to go. There we go. Now we can resume with the main event. Wait. Oh, I could add that to the advertisement graphic. It would. I don't think it fit, would it? We'll see. We'll see how it fits. And with that, both players are ready, and we will be stepping into the grand finals with an ever classic Lollipop mirror match. Jico gonna be sticking in with the Hydra Birdchuck. It's been working out exceptionally well for him. And we're gonna see him start off with a quick freeze. Not gonna be able to follow up as he leaps right into an uncharged poke from the Popper. Gillyboat gonna be sticking with his own Popper and the Hot Homie alongside a very devastating tandem that's just allowed for so much pressure, so much damage. Another freeze, but not gonna be able to capitalize on it yet again. Gillyboat just doing an effective job of knocking Jico down whenever those freezes happen. Both players ready with rush, just looking for a moment. Gilly trying to anticipate the rush. He's going to get caught off by a grab. If Jico baits out the rush at a mid-range distance, I think his rush would be able to safely outbox Gilly's. We'll have to see if Jico is able to do that, or Gilly could easily just punch out that grab and force out the rush, which would allow Gilly to safely get out of the way. But considering how much of a lead Jico has right now, Gilly might feel compelled, forced to throw out that rush, go in for the KO, or just eat that final Birdchuck hit and set Jico up with a 1-point advantage in our first set. Jiko going in, forces Gilly's hand, tries to break through that setup, and ends up eating a 375, 320 damage rush. Setting Jiko up with lead for days. And is going to quickly knock Gilly below 50% health. That wide grab coming in high. Jiko not going to be able to escape that time. And we're going to see our first bit of damage to that center platform. Rush comes out. Jiko going to be able to safely block it out. And now also has another rush ready. Just chooses to throw it out. That's not going to KO as the Burchuck just not able to line up its shots. But he's only looking for one final hit to take Gilly out. Gilly still has to burn through 75% of Jiko's health. And he's not going to have the chance. And Jiko starts off this match with a 1-point advantage. Yeah, it doesn't fit. It looks cool. It doesn't fit. I mean, I could just add borders to it. I'll probably do that. And we're going to be heading back to Mausoleum. Gillybo determined to make this stage work for him. Considering that Jiko's banned DNA Temple on Scrapyard, he's running pretty low on options. I feel like he would work well in Ramen Bowl, but I don't think he wants to try it out here. Wants to go with one of the stages he's more comfortable with. We'll have to see if he's able to turn the tides in his favor here, as Jiko starting off with, again, advantage. Burchuck just causing a lot of pressure alongside the Hydra, just constantly sniping Gillybo down and causing him just no ends of trouble. Gillybo's rush is ready, looking for a confirm to be able to get that extra 500 damage off the rush. But it's going to be Jiko landing his first, gets only a meager 150, but that is still going to be enough to be able to steadily keep Jiko in the lead here. Fun fact, if you're fast enough with your grab reflexes, that period of time where the homie bounced off of Jiko's shield and there was no popper around, I think Jiko might, especially if Gilly's at mid to close range, Jiko might be able just to throw out a blind grab and cancel out the explosion from the homie. It's very particular, but I'm pretty sure Lollipop can actually do that because of her super dash. Two mono rushes are very powerful, but if you're not careful with your timing, there's actually a lot of huge windows that are very exploitable by a well-trained and ready opponent. Jiko ready with rush, looking for a window to slip it in. Might want to try to force Gilly to try to throw his out. So far, Gilly's been very patient and dedicated with his rush, though, looking exclusively for moments where he's confident Jiko cannot just pummel through with his own rush. As Gilly is fully aware of how easily that Burchuck can just eat through all of Gilly's attacks. Gilly throws out the grab, baits out the rush, ends up taking 330 damage as a result, but now Jiko does not have a rush ready, but he's going to be able to safely block that. Gets a freeze. Gilly has yet to be freeze chained up until this point, where the Hydra is able to finally get a follow-up confirm, giving Jiko a little bit more damage off of that freeze frozen opportunity. Yeah, this loadout is just giving Gilly a lot of pressure, a lot of difficulty to try to push through right now, and it looks like Chico is going to be able to take another set, and we'll be heading back one more time. I'll also let you all know that top 8 and how it is within those results, those are also going to be how all players are seeded. So I'm going to be seeded 8th, Astro Ninja seeded 1st, Pied Piper will be seeded 2nd, so on and so forth. Which means that if you understand how the bracket system generally works, you can probably take a nice guess as to who is going to be facing off who in the first rounds. Gilliboat stepping right back into Mausoleum, looking to try to do a bit more labbing here. Something that it's actually really important to do, something that's really important to recognize in these kind of matchups is sometimes you just can't find the answer in the current moment. But rather than just like letting yourself get frustrated, the best option at times is just to recognize that maybe this isn't the match that you're going to be able to win, but it's still important to try to glean as much as possible from what's going on in the matchup, what's going on in these exchanges, and how you can set things up to work out better for yourself. So in future bouts, things might be different. You can see Gilly is trying to experiment, trying out a different kind of approach, making a couple of different plays. Chico's still standing strong and confident on top. I feel like Gilly needs to try a different stage. The stage can definitely work, but it's a little too close range, and Gilly needs to find something with a little bit more space for him. I know Scrapyard didn't work out once. I feel like it could work with a little bit more practice. But then the big one I'd probably say is like, Ramen Bowl definitely would have been a really good pick for him. Yeah, it wasn't banned. Ramen Bowl would have been what this stage is, but more for Gilly, I'd probably say. That also said, again, it is a new stage. It takes a little bit more to get used to. Gilly just gonna take the L here. He's not feeling it anymore. Oh, nope, he's gonna be fine. Just a little disappointed off of that rush missing. Not close enough to be able to get the confirm that he was looking for. And Chico just safely flying off into the back of the wall. Gilly patiently trying to tempo things out here. Slowly finding a way in. Starts getting some light damage. Couple more hits in there. Gilly does have a confirm opportunity for the KO, and he's going to go straight in for it. Brings the score to 1-1. Both players sticking with their respected loadouts. Chico is going to have rush advantage. But Gilly going to start off with a pretty solid health lead here, which means that rush is only going to balance out the health difference. Chico starting to get a couple of good pokes of his own in, setting up a little bit pressure. Sees a nice moment to throw out that rush as Gilly sets himself up in the air yet again. This rush just so good at punishing Gillyboat when he is suspended like that. Nice rush confirm, and that's going to be it. Gilly going to be able to take a point and brings the score to 2-1, Chico's favor. Yeah, let me make a customized version of that right now. I could probably do that pretty quickly. Oh, where are we going? Break the cycle. We're going away from Mausoleum, and we're going to be heading to Sparring Ring next. There we go. And then we just do this on here to center. Perfect. There. Put it behind. Nope. There we go. Perfect. Sorry, I've just have a moment, and I need to do this. Relay adverts. We're just gonna do this. Oh, nice rush from Gilly, setting up some good tempo. Holding on to a very light health lead right now. There we go. Chico ready with the rush, now just looking for any solid confirm. Gilly slowly building up one of his own, but he's not going to have the time to get it ready as Chico finds a solid Hydra spike poke. Spin! And Chico gonna catch. Lolo's landing there, 295 damage. Sets himself up with health lead. Gilly ready with a rush now. The stage still can work out pretty well for Gilly, but he's not able to box down that Birdchuck, and it's gonna sting away Gilly's rush. Taking away what definitely was gonna be one of Gilly's winning plays. Or win conditions, at least. That's a lot of what Gilly's setup and playstyle is he leans hard into that win condition of getting that confirm, getting that rush. That's where a lot of his damage comes in. He can get a lot of damage beyond, but when it really comes to the moment, getting 500 damage off a rush can really just be what you're looking for. You can see he's fishing for that moment. He's trying to poke in with those charge poppers. Another win condition lost. And now Chico just looking for a final opportunity. Gets the freeze. Rush is going to come out. Gilly feeling the fear. Is going to get knocked down. Closing things out. Chico will be winning this Scrapstar with a score of 3-1. And with that, we are going to be closing things out. Chico taking our 41st Scrapstar. Getting some very clean rounds and just very confident matches overall. I had to play a couple of pretty tough matchups. Had to play Adam Brain, had to play Gilly Boat, and again, had to play Gilly Boat. Very, very difficult opponents. And with that, we are going to be closing out this Scrapstar series.